In this video, I'm going to give you a practical revenue example. Last week, I made a video on different types of revenue, and I talked about this on a very theoretical level. And so I wanted to make another video that gave you a really practical example of how this plays out in the business world. And I think what you'll find is that this idea about different types of revenue can be a very powerful way to implement revenue strategy in your business. So the example I'm going to use is of a hotel. And I find this is a really good example to use because everybody can relate to it. Everybody's been to a hotel. And no matter what industry I've worked in, I've been able to use the insights from this example to really help understand whatever is going on in that business sector. The interesting thing about the hotel business is that your inventory doesn't change. You have a certain number of rooms to sell in your hotel property, and that usually doesn't go up or down. So what you can change is the types of revenue that you target. So if you were to go out and read the annual financial report for any hotel company out there, what you'll find is that their most important financial metric is something called RevPAR. And that stands for revenue per available room. And so since hotel properties can't increase or decrease the number of rooms they have, what they can control is the type of revenue and the amount of revenue they bring in per available room. So let's imagine you have a really large hotel. Let's say your hotel has 1,000 rooms. And so you have a huge spectrum of different types of travelers you can target to sell your hotel rooms. What you want to do is you want to target the type of target customer that fits your revenue strategy. Now, every hotel property is going to have different strengths and weaknesses, and different types of customers are going to be attracted to that property. But generally, a business segment that's really attractive that a lot of hotels go after is conferences. So let's talk a little bit about conference business. So conferences usually happen, there are events that happen that are once a year or they may be twice a year, so it's repeat business that happens. And they're generally large groups of people who come in from out of town to attend these conferences. And so these conferences book large groups at these hotels. This type of business is generally really attractive for hotels. And so it's quite common for hotels to lower their room rates to lock in the contracts for these conferences. Now at this point, you might ask yourself, hey, if I'm giving all of these discounted room rates, how am I increasing my revenue per available room? Well, to start with, when you have a conference, it opens up a whole new set of revenue streams for your hotel property. But let's just set those aside for the minute, because I want to stay focused on the rooms, because you're actually going to win on your room rates. What you've effectively done here is by selling a group room block at your hotel, you've effectively decreased the supply of remaining rooms that you have to sell. And so we all know how supply and demand works. When you shrink the supply, you can increase your room rates. And we've all experienced this. If you go and try and book a hotel room in a city where there's some large conference going on, all the rooms are booked. And so the few rooms that are left, you'll notice, are selling for these obnoxiously high room rates. Well, that's what's going on. The supply shrinks, and so the rates that hotels are able to charge go up. So that's how you're making your money, is that you're able to charge bring in more revenue for your available remaining rooms. But I want to talk about this because what's going on is more specific than that. What's happening in the case of this hotel is you're really focusing on a specific target customer. Like I mentioned before, there's a whole spectrum of travelers out there. all the way from high-end travelers to economy travelers. And each of these different types of travelers have different wants and needs. Economy travelers are those types of people who are really interested on price. They want to get the lowest price, and so they do things like spend a lot of time on discount travel websites, searching the different properties looking for the best price. On the other end of the spectrum, you have your high-end travelers, and these are typically people traveling for business. They're less price sensitive because they're not paying for their rooms, their businesses, and they're more concerned with things like convenience for their business activities. So what you're doing by decreasing the supply of rooms and increasing your prices is you're taking this spectrum of travelers and you're shifting it down. And so what you're doing is you're only serving the higher end of this spectrum, because the economy customers are no longer going to be interested in a hotel with these high prices. You're not meeting their needs, so they're going to look elsewhere. And so you're able to focus more on these high-end travelers. But it's more than that. You're not only pushing out the economy travelers out of your hotel, you're pushing these economy travelers to your competitor's hotel. So not only are you making more money, your competitors are making less money. And that's how you win in the hotel business. But I want to clarify a little bit here, because it's not just about charging more money. What it's really about is targeting a specific customer segment. And so in this example, you're really only serving two target customers now. You have your group, and then you have your high-end business travelers. So rather than trying to service the entire spectrum of travelers out there, you're focusing on just two target customers. And so your staff is going to be better able to service the needs of those target markets. And so your customers are going to be happier and you're going to make more money. So that's the example. And I know this is not going to work for every hotel property that's out there, and it's not going to work for every business. But my goal in this was just to show you, if you understand how the different types of revenue are working in your business, it can be very powerful on helping your business succeed. If you like this video, go ahead and click on the subscribe button. I release a new video every week on accounting and corporate finance, so come back and check out next week's video.